Since I've been asked by a few people how I managed to keep 8 bicycles in a small downtown apartment, I thought I would give you the Lazy Randonneur apartment tour. It starts in the living room with the new World Tourist hanging out by the balcony. Because it's so sloppy outside, I know I'm not going to ride it for a couple days, so it's pretty far from the door, but it still gets a nice view of downtown, which I thought would keep it happy until it gets to be ridden a little more. We then have not a bicycling setup, but this is how you manage to have that many bicycles in a small apartment. This is my entire living room, a small Japanese-esque table which can seat 8 or 10 people for dinner. I work on it as my second office. I now have a whole bunch of bike parts on it that need to be sorted and put away. The whole thing can be moved out of here real easy if I need to work on bikes or do different things, and it's cheap. Here's my morning tea, web browsing / yoga setup. The new MacBook Air is pretty handy for moving around the apartment, and it's kind of sexy. Then we move over to where a lot of people would have their kitchen, and as you can see, there's a ton of bikes here. First off, we have a Dahone Mu P8, brand new, just cut out of the box. Not actually my bike. I'm just going to test it for BowCycle for 2 or 3 weeks and then give it back to them. I have a Dahone D7 out in Ontario with my parents, so I have a bike out there, and kind of interested to see how this bike, a couple years newer, compares. Behind the bike you can see I've got some studded Schwalbe tires. I'm going to put them on something, I'm not sure what. Those I'm also testing for BowCycle. I'm going to write a review. And then behind the studded tires on top of the Dahone box are some Schwalbe Fat Alberts. I'm going to put on a mountain bike I'm working on for the summer. I've decided to get myself a new mountain bike so I can ride some trails. I've kind of given up on mountain biking for the last couple of years and focused on touring and road riding, but I feel like I'm ready to spend some time on the trails. Then we have the high density bike setup. There's a Thorn touring bike on the stand I'm working on and a bunch of parts below I'm going to put on it, including a rack, some fenders, whatnot. And then the rest of the parts down there are all the parts that don't know what to do with. They're not parts I really want to use, but I don't want to throw them away, so I'm trying to find a home, like an old Manitou shock and a bunch of chain rings and cranks and pedals that are not good enough or not new enough that I'm going to probably put them on another bike, but good enough that somebody can use them. So I'm sort of waiting for a friend to have a need, and then I can just grab them and put them on a commuter bike or something like that. I've got the big dummy over here. It's big, so it has to go someplace where it actually fits, and that's the only place. It's actually really convenient. It gets in and out of this apartment super easy, much easier than I thought, and fits in this little nook perfectly. Apparently some people call this a breakfast nook or a dining nook. I'm calling it my bike nook. Fortunately the big dummy has a flat right now and I gotta fix that. I've got this great bike rack from MEC called the Da Vinci or something like that, or Michelangelo, and you can move it around real easy, holds a bunch of bikes. Got the Surly long haul trucker up top here. Unfortunately underutilized because I got so many bikes. It's a great bike, but I seem to only be taking on a couple tours each year, and I should be riding it more, but we'll have to try and fix that. Sadly, you can see how little I'm riding it by the fact I'm hanging like hex keys on it for easy access for working on my other bikes. Then over here, if I can get far enough back, is where I have all my tools. I've got a bunch of tools here, easy access, helmets, all my knickknacks that I end up using to repair bikes and whatnot. Got some Shimano hydraulic brakes down there that I was going to put on the Pugsley and decided not to, so now I have to find another bike for them or return them. Thinking I might put them on the new mountain bike, but kind of like the Abbott BB7 brakes, and they're proven, so I might go with those instead. Hard to say. Alright, so let's go find the rest of the bikes. We gotta walk on our way. Well, here, this is my attempt to try and make my apartment less crowded. Got a bunch of Ortlieb bags, old laptop, some cardboard boxes, and a bunch of camping gear and an old frame that are going out to my storage eventually. Out in the hallway we have the Pugsley. That's where bikes that are dirty and wet stay until they dry off and I can bring them in the apartment. I should have a runner underneath it to catch all the slop so it doesn't go on the carpet, but my hallway carpeting isn't awesome, so I haven't bothered yet. I have to go get one of those. Over here, and I have to excuse the terrible lighting, I have a burnt out light. But in this hall closet, if I go down real low, you'll see there is a ticket in the back there. That's the season's ticket. It normally doesn't actually live here. I've been lending it out to friends pretty much continuously since it doesn't fit me as well as the large ticket. Although I love the Nexus 8 and I wish I had it on my ticket. I'd rather have somebody who fits the bike ride it and enjoy it than have two tickets, which would be kind of selfish. Alright, into the office and the Lazy Randonneur World Headquarters. You can see here we have my ticket. This is actually a pretty easy access spot, even though it's kind of out of the way. The ticket's so small I can whip it in and out of here and into the hallway and elevator really fast. Unlike the big dummy, which takes a little bit of thought, I can have this out in like a few seconds. I keep lights on it all the time and batteries charged, and this bike goes in and out a ton. This whole room is full of junk. It's kind of like my work storage room, so there's an old thermarest behind there. Got another one of those bike racks in here, although it's kind of underutilized. Have some tires and wheels and pump in here that I'm not using right now. There's the mountain bike project I'm working on. I'm not going to give you any details until I get further along. Over here we have my Lazy Randonneur World Headquarter Control Center, where I blog from. The big screen and the Mac to the right are my kind of personal computer that I use for blogging and web surfing or whatever. And this Dell XPS you can kind of see the back of is actually my work computer. So the way I've got it set up now, I'm able to do both at once, multitasking, which is great. And what else is there bike parts wise? Here's a whole stack of bike parts. I'm not even sure what's here right now. There's a Jones H bar, there's a Thorn Comfort bar, there's a whole bunch of miscellaneous bits and pieces. There's this really nice rack in the corner with a wheel truing stand and whatnot. Over in this corner, we've got my big dummy accessories, the stuff I don't use all the time, like the bike carrier and the wide loaders and the seat cushion. But it's reasonably easy access without cluttering up my living room. And this total nightmare is where I keep my camping gear. I got that clear box down there with all the bike parts I don't get to super often. Ortlieb panniers hanging here, Ortlieb backpack, reasonably easy access. A whole bunch of backpacks I use. I'm kind of a backpack freak, so I have kind of one for every job. I need to get at them real easy. More bike parts up in the closet here. Have tents, got a Caritas bag, handlebar bags, thermarest, boxes of parts for my Ortliebs and Brooks saddles and whatnot. Well, anyway, I think that's it. So people asked where I keep all my bikes and how it all works in a small apartment, and that's it. I must say the only reason it really works is because I don't have anyone else here living with me. And if a girlfriend comes over, as long as she's not paying the rent, she can't complain. Anyway, hopefully nobody I'm dating will watch this. Take care.